Hey everyone, Benz95, and I'm back with a new video. And this is my first of the new year. What I'm going to show you in this video is some records that I got from record sale back in the end of January. And I also have a couple records I got from the mall a few weeks back, as well as a CD and a couple DVDs and a book. So without further ado, let's begin the video. So the first record I'm going to show you is by ABC. This is the Lexicon of Love. And this album features the songs Poison Arrow, Many Happy Returns, Tears Are Not Enough, The Look of Love Part 1, All of My Heart. Lots of great songs. And this is considered to be their best album in their discography. Really happy to have this album. They're a really good band from the 1980s. Reflects the Politics of Dancing. Some 80s synth pop, new wave. And they were known only for that title track. That was really their only big hit. But there's some other really good, infectious, synth-driven new wave dance rock tunes on here, like Hitline, which in my opinion should have been another hit for them. No pun intended, but it's just really a really infectious song that I never get tired of listening to. It's just so good. But yeah, they just didn't quite find the success they deserved when they were around. They were not as successful as their peers, and they couldn't build off any of the success from their song The Politics of Dancing. So they were considered to be a one-hit wonder from the 1980s. But I also read that this album was out of print, from what I read, and so when I came across this, I was quite surprised. Before I even knew that it was long out of print, but this is considered to be like a hidden gem of sorts, I guess. So it's a nice find. Next is by the Doobie Brothers. This is Minute by Minute. Excuse me, I got a bit of a cold. And this was produced by Ted Templeman, who's famous for producing the likes of Van Halen, Montrose. And this was a Grammy Award-winning album around 1978. Around the time it came out, and this features the song's title track, What a Fool Believes, and a really good instrumental boogie rock tune named Steamer Lane Breakdown, which is probably my favorite song off this album. It's really good stuff, so I'm happy to have some more by the Doobies. And this was also the last album to feature guitarist Jeff Skunk Baxter, pictured here. He was also a guitarist for Steely Dan. So yeah, happy to have that. The Alan Parsons Project, The Turn of a Friendly Card. Some really good progressive rock from the 1970s. It's progressive rock, progressive pop, art rock, soft rock. And this album features the songs Games People Play and Time. And the Alan Parsons Project were known to feature contributions from 4 vocalists. Aside from Eric Wolfson, who is the other half of the Alan Parsons Project, Lenny Zakatek, Elmer Gantry, and Chris Rainbow contributed on this record. And yeah, there's some really good stuff on here. And I'm hoping to get some more from them in the future. The Alan Parsons Project, they have some good songs. And the final record here is by Gentle Giant. This is their last album. This is Civilian. And it's not considered to be their best album. You know, it didn't receive a lot of good, you know, feedback from critics and fans alike, you know, and this led to their breakup in 1980. And I was a bit, you know, after I purchased this, I was a bit, I guess, resentful. I mean, maybe not, it's probably not the best word to describe it, but to better rephrase myself, you know, I did show a little bit of regret having purchased this because I didn't think I would like it. You know, I bought it because it was Gentle Giant. You know, Gentle Giant are one of the greatest progressive rock bands, and you know, when they started to kind of go into more of a direction of commercial, a more commercial direction, that's when, you know, it seems as though they didn't quite hit the mark. You know, they basically started to kind of fall out of place, and you know, they just weren't the kind of band they used to be known for being, which were just you know, a rock solid progressive rock band that were very, very experimental at the same time. This is very much like, you know, a polished type of progressive rock sound, but in the end there is still some good music to be found on here. You know, it's a good album but not a great album. The opening track off of side one, Convenience, Clean and Easy, great tune, and the rest is, you know, fairly good. And in my opinion, I think it sounds a bit like the Tubes, you know, like 80s, or like when the Tubes went new wave. It also reminds me of this. It also kind of reminds me a little bit of the band Max Webster, if anyone's familiar with them. And yeah, this is still some good music to be found, you know. Hoping to get some better stuff from Gentle Giant in the future. And now onto the records I got from the mall. The first record is by Autograph. This is Sign In Please. And this features their big hit, Turn Up the Radio. And yeah, this is you know, some good heavy metal, you know, glam metal, hair metal music from 1984. And you know, I mainly got it for the song Turn Up the Radio. It's not good, but it's not great, but it's still a good listen. So, and finally, this is a really good album. This is FM, Black Noise. Really, really good progressive rock, Canadian progressive rock music. It's just fantastic music from beginning to end. FM are a band that primarily consists of three members. One handles you know, lead vocals, synthesizer, and bass. The other, and his name's Cameron Hawkins, and Martin Deller is the drummer, and he also plays synthesizer. And there's no guitar on this. The guitar in replacement of the guitar is electric violin, and it's being played by Nash the Slash, who's a celebrated Canadian musician. May he rest in peace. And yeah, so he plays electric violins, mandolin, glockenspiel. You know, he also provides backup vocals as well. But there's some really good songs on here. You know, it's very progressive, yet also kind of jazz fusion-y. You know, it's just really good stuff. Phasers on Stun is a really good tune. And that's the most recognizable song from this album. But yeah, there's a lot of really good songs on here. It's really, really good, underrated progressive rock music. I highly recommend you check them out if you haven't. So, some really good stuff. And that does it for my records. So, on to my other finds. CD I got from the mall by Soundgarden. This is Down on the Upside. And this features the songs Pretty Noose and Burden in My Hand. Here's the inside. So yeah, some good stuff by Soundgarden. And the DVDs I got. First one I'm going to show you is by, well, this is a classic movie. This is Spinal Tap. Classic rockumentary, or I should say mockumentary. And, you know, great performances from Christopher Guest, Michael McKean, and Harry Shearer. And, you know, Rob Reiner directed and starred in this. And it's just flat out hilarious, but also very good, you know, music to be found in here. And yeah, really enjoy this movie. And this other DVD I came across when I was just looking around at those CDs, and yeah, I stumbled upon this DVD by the Grateful Dead. This is Long Strange Trip, The Untold Story of the Grateful Dead. It's a 2-disc documentary on, you know, like it says, the untold story of the Grateful Dead, from their days as a coffee house or jug band to their coffee house days and the Kool-Aid, electric Kool-Aid, you know, times, that, you know, that era of the electric Kool-Aid experiment, to their big days of, you know, stadium rock royalty from the Deadheads. And yeah, you know, I don't have anything by the Grateful Dead on vinyl or CD, yet I only have this and a book. So I have to do myself a favor, and I have yet to watch this, but I have to do myself a favor and listen to some Grateful Dead, because you know, I've been missing out on their music. I need to get some records from them. You know, I need to listen to some of their records. And finally, we have this really awesome book on psychedelic rock music. This is Psychedelia, 101 Iconic Underground Rock Albums from 1966 to 1970. Fantastic book that I started reading a little bit of. I read about the, it has a timeline, and it talks about the very beginnings of how psychedelia, the whole psychedelia timeline of just really where it kind of all began with the term psychedelia and drugs, and you know records when they were released, and songs when they were released, and bands when they were formed, and you know, this and that. And it basically, like it says, talks about the 101 iconic underground rock albums from the psychedelic rock era of 1966 to 1970. So I'm going to show you some pictures. Here's one of the Strawberry Alarm Clock and Love, featuring Arthur Lee. And here's the beginning of the timeline of the oh yeah, this is who's this band playing? Oh, that's the Mothers of Invention playing at the Whiskey A Go Go. And here's a bit of the timeline. Bob Dylan and the Beatles, circa 1966. Kinks and Jefferson Airplane. The Pretty Things and Beach Boys. And I'll just show you, of course, some of the albums. Psychedelic Lollipop by the Blues Magoos, Smile by the Beach Boys, Jefferson Airplane, After Bathing at Baxter's, just a Traffic, United States of America, that's basically just a sample of what you'd expect to find in this book, and I'm looking forward to reading more of this book. So that's pretty much all of my finds from between January and February. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you think, and I'll be back again very soon with some more records. I'm going to be heading to a record show in about a couple weeks, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to going back to find some more records and showing you. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.